And hello viewers, welcome to Science TV News at 1. My name is Ruth Wairimo and our sign language interpreter is Wanjangeve. Let us inform you on what is happening in the country. President William Ruto has launched the Nairobi-Nakuru Mau Summit and Nairobi-Mai Mahiu Naivasha Road projects, calling the moment the dawn of a new era for Kenya's infrastructure agenda. He said the initiative reflects renewed national ambition, driven by determination and a clear vision for the country's future. The upgraded corridors are expected to ease congestion, improve road safety and strengthen connectivity along one of Kenya's busiest transport routes. Officials say the works will support faster movement of goods and passengers between Nairobi, Naivasha, Nakuru and the Western region.
Today, we stand at the dawn of a new era, an era of defined ambition and driven by determination as we launch the Nairobi-Nakuru Mau Summit and the Nairobi-Mai Mahiu Naivasha project. This moment is not merely about laying down a new corridor. It is about laying the foundation of a Kenya reborn, a Kenya that refuses to wait any longer for the future it deserves. For decades, our country has been trapped between options that held back progress. Whenever we needed to undertake heavy and necessary infrastructural projects, we were presented with this. The first was to rely on a national budget, but this was not possible. A single major highway can swallow nearly half of our entire annual development budget, even as Kenya faces competing priorities such as education, health, and other essential services. The next option was borrowing, but that too was untenable, given our debt burden and the limited fiscal headroom available to us. The third option was also to slow down on development and simply stay as we were. That was never an option, not for a country with our aspiration, potential, and investment that we required.
And on to our next news. UDA's Leonard Wamudende has been declared the winner of the Mbeere North Parliamentary by-election after securing 15,802 votes. The Thursday poll attracted strong interest as residents turned out to choose a new representative following the vacant seat. The IEBC announced the results after a smooth tallying process, noting that the voting was peaceful across the constituency. Following his victory, Wamudende pledged to focus on development and to serve all residents regardless of their political preference.
Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya and the Deputy Party Leader, UDA, the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Human Capital Development and Executive Office of the President, Governor, Embu County, Speaker, Embu County, all present, the CEO, IEBC. I'm really overjoyed I don't think it can show because it's been a very long day. I want to take this opportunity. First, I thank God. I thank all my supporters. I thank them for their support and prayers mostly because it was tough. As you can see, it was a hotly contested race, and it's only through God that we've made it this far. I also want to thank UDA, my party, for the support, all the security team, the IEBC for conducting a fair election. And I want to thank most of all the people of Mbeere North, whichever side they chose. I am now the member of National Assembly. I have made commitments not only to those who elected me, but to all residents of Mbeere North. I will be fair. I will discharge my duties without any discrimination. I will meet all my pledges. I remember mentioning on fair distribution of bursaries, a free secondary education for day scholars, and development, that is electricity, water, and also roads. I will remain committed to serving the people of Mbeere North, and more so to ensure the steps, you know,
And on to our next news, UDA candidate David Ndakwa has been declared the winner of the Malava Parliamentary by-elections after securing 21,564 votes in a closely contested race. The by-election was held to fill the seat left vacant following the death of former MP Malulu Injendi earlier this year. Ndakwa edged out his main challenger, Seth Panyako, of the DAPK party, who garnered 20,210 votes. The tight margin underscored a competitive contest that drew significant attention across Kakamega County, with other candidates trailing far behind, including Wilberforce Tubei of the Kenya Moja movement, who received 626 votes.
I want to give you an opportunity to say a word or two to your electorates, then we wind over. Malava hoye! Malava hoye! Nataka kushukuru Mwenyezi Mungu kwa haya yote. Tumekuwa kwa campaign baada ya kumpoteza mjumbe wetu Mheshimiwa Malulu. Mungu aiweke roho yake mahali pema peponi, na tuko hapa wakati huu kwa sababu ya hiyo maneno ilitokea Malava. Mimi napenda kumshukuru Mwenyezi Mungu kwanza kwa haya yote, kutufikisha sisi wakati kama huu na tukamaliza vizuri. Pili, ningependa kumshukuru party leader wangu, His Excellency President William Samoei Ruto, kwa kunipatia nafasi kwa chama chake ili nikuwe mgombea wa kiti cha ubunge cha Malava. Napenda kushukuru watu wa Malava kwa kujitokeza na kutoa statement moja na kunipatia nafasi ili nipate kuongoza kwa hii sehemu ya Malava. Penda kupongeza familia yangu kwa nafasi yenye wamenipatia ili kutoka nje kutafuta uongozi wa kuhudumia watu wa Malava. Mimi nimependa pia kupongeza IBC kwa kufanya kazi bila mapendeleo na majibu itokee kama hii ya kusema kama mimi ni mshindi, na mpaka saa hii hakuna yule amepinga hapa kusema kwamba sio sawa. Kwa hivyo IBC, hongera. Security apparatus, ninawashukuru kwa ile mikakati mliweka mpaka wakati huu. Incident hazijakuwa mbaya sana, ngache for a few reported cases ambazo ni za kawaida na zimeshughulikiwa. Mimi nataka kuambia watu wa Malava kwamba Malava ni moja, na mimi kama kiongozi wao, Mungu atakuwa mbele, watu wa Malava watakuwa katikati, mimi nitakuwa nyuma kuhakikisha kwamba hakuna mtu wa Malava yoyote mwenye anapaki nyuma. Na ninawahakikishia ya kwamba ile miradi Mheshimiwa Malulu Injendi aliwacha kama amepanga kufanyia watu wa Malava, nitahakikisha nimeimaliza kwanza, ndio ni impact kwa zile zangu zenye naweza fanya. Napenda kuwashukuru competitors wangu kutoka kwa chama changu cha UDA, Mheshimiwa Kangwana, Mheshimiwa Ryan na wakili Shimaka, kwa kunipatia nafasi baada ya nomination kwamba tusitembee pamoja na upate ushindi kwa chama cha UDA kama familia, na tupate ushindi kwa watu wa Malava kwa wapatia kiongozi bora ambaye ni mimi. Kwa my worthy competitors this last minute, wale tumeng'ang'ana nao kwa hii final, pia ningependa kuwashukuru nikisema kwamba natakana tukue na kiongozi mmoja wakati mmoja kwa jina la mbunge wa Malava. Kwa wakati huu Mungu amesema ni mimi, kwa sababu uongozi unatoka kwa Mwenyezi Mungu. Ninawaomba wakuche pamoja na mimi ili interest yetu, kwa sababu ilikuwa ni kusaidia watu wa Malava, tusonge nao mbele. Leo ni mimi na kesho inaweza kuwa hao. Kwa mambo wenzangu wa Bress, because I'm part of you, nasema kwamba asanteni sana for the coverage. It has been very, very fair. At no time nimejaribu kusema kwamba ninawatolea makosa yote kwa upande wangu yenye mmefanya. Kwa hivyo asanteni sana for your publicity, kwa kunijenga pia na kuchukua hii nafasi. Kwa wote wenye wako hapa, kwa wote wenye wako nje, kwa wote marafiki wenye wananisikiza wananiona, hii ushindi
And moving on, the Senate has postponed the impeachment hearing of Nyamira Governor Amos Kimomi Nyaribo to next week, following a failed attempt to form an 11-member special committee to investigate the charges. The delay means the case will now be considered in full plenary session, with all senators reviewing the evidence. Nyaribo was impeached by the Nyamira County Assembly on 25th November 2025, with 23 of 31 MCAs present voting in favor of the motion. The allegations include abuse of office, gross violation of the Constitution, irregular fund allocation, and unauthorized appointments, including matters related to County Agriculture and Public Service Board. The Senate plenary session is scheduled for 3rd and 4th December 2025. This process will allow every senator to examine the case, giving it more public scrutiny. The outcome will determine whether Nyaribo is removed from office or allowed to remain governor.
Recognizing the removed speaker and clerk as legitimate office holders contrary to court rulings and Senate resolutions, declaring sittings held outside gazetted precincts null and void, and 3, undermining the principle of separation of powers by enabling an illegal parallel assembly structure to transact county business. Honorable Senators, kindly find your way to the nearest seat. This is quite a long communication. And those who are misplaced can now go back to their comfort zones. Allegation 2, unlawful assent to the Nyamira County Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2024. The particulars of these allegations are that the governor engaged in gross violations of Articles 175A, 185(1), and 224 of the Constitution, Section 130 of the Public Finance Management Act, and Section 21 of the County Governments Act. By 1, assenting on 26 November 2024 to the Nyamira County Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2024 without the approval of the County Assembly as required by law. Number 2, unilaterally altering county fiscal priorities without legislative authority. And 3, usurping the appropriation mandate of the County Assembly and weakening legislative oversight over public finances. Allegation number 3, illegal appointment of Dr. Peris Nyaboke Oroko, alias Peris Mongale, as a county executive committee member. The particulars of these allegations are that the governor engaged in gross violations of Article 179(2)(b), Article 259 of the Constitution, and Section 30 of the County Governments Act. By 1, appointing and retaining Dr. Peris Nyaboke Oloko as a CC member despite the Assembly's express refusal to approve a nomination. 2, integrating her into the county executive structure and the payroll without lawful authority. And 3, relying on the unlawful bunga mashinani process to justify the appointment, contrary to court declarations invalidating all its actions. Allegation 4, illegal appointment of members of the municipal boards of Nyamira and the Keroka municipalities. The particulars of these allegations are that the governor engaged in gross violations of the Urban Areas and Cities Act and the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act. By 1, appointing board members for Nyamira municipality and the Keroka municipality without submitting the names to the County Assembly for vetting and approval. 2, gazetting the appointments despite the absence of mandatory assembly approval. And 3, constituting municipal bonds in a manner contrary to law and outside established appointment procedures. Honorable Senators, kindly find your way to your seats. Very fast, without further discussions on the hires. Allegation 5, unlawful appointment of a selection panel for the County Public Service Board. The particulars of this allegation are that the governor engaged in gross violations of the County Governments Act and Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act by 1, unilaterally appointing a selection panel to recruit members of the County Public Service Board without assembly approval. 2, enabling the panel to recruit their chairperson, secretary, and members contrary to procedural requirements. And
we'll be taking a commercial break. We'll be back with the sports news.